back to Fabrice and Junelle Show. I hope you enjoyed that video you just watched of Unstoppable.
I know I did.
I know, right? Unstoppable by a lady named Pearl. It's a great video. She's a great singer. Right now with us, we have a very special guest once again. We always do. We have a brother in the studio right now who is here to talk about his book and also basically to tell about his life story. And his name is Timothy Clark. And we also have with us Joyce, who's always, gonna be on our show. He's a very good friend of the show. And Joyce was pretty much curious enough to bring Timothy with her to talk about the book. And I believe the book name is Finessing the Game.
Finessing the Game.
Could you introduce yourself and then tell us exactly what, I don't know what that means.
Okay, my name is Timothy Clark. I'm the author of Finessing the Game, the CEO of Kimbo Publishing. The book Finessing the Game, I named the book Finessing the Game because as a child growing up, people regarded me as having finesse. And I was always known to be on top of game, which is the streets. So I wanted something that was gonna jump out at people and make them wanna see what's inside. So I named the book Finessing the Game, and I put the chessboard on it because chess is associated with the game of life. So you notice on the front that my opponent's king is already down, and I'm getting ready to move, meaning that he lost before the game started. That's how I came up with Finessing the Game.
Okay, okay. So, Joyce, how did you meet Timothy?
Well, to me, the only correct response to life is to share. And in order to take this journey, we have to share our life experiences. Because your testimony, your experience may be the only experience of realness that a person may have. So, I created a show called The Heart of a Missionary. And Timothy is one of the people that shares. He's transparent. He goes out and he shares his life with other people so that they can understand some of the game, how life is really real, and some of the pit stops that we can avoid if we would just listen. Timothy was the first person that I interviewed on my radio show.
Wow.
And we've been together ever since, going in the same network. Timothy's also a great networker. He shares not only his book, Finessing the Game, but he shares information to all various groups. So that's how I got involved with Timothy. So Timothy is a person that goes into our schools. With the crisis in our schools, with the bullying, he is one of the people who is, again, transparent. He tells about his issues and how he has finessed the game, how our children can finesse the game with being real. That is what he does, and he's doing a great job. So what are some of the things you're doing right now in the school system?
Well, right now, I'm working real hard to get my book into the school system. It has been edited for a version to suit the schools, and the reason is because God gave me this vision to use the book to reach younger kids, to help them identify social issues. I believe that if we can raise the awareness and to get these kids to understand what a social issue is, then we may be ahead of the 8 ball a little bit, as well as, if you don't know about, in Atlanta, almost less than 60% of our students are failing. So they don't like to read. So for me, I figure, well, let me just introduce my book to them and see if we could just get them to read, since it is interesting. It's something about the streets that snags them in and make them want to read. And in doing so, it raised their CRCT reading scores.
Okay, when Joyce mentioned you, I didn't know about the book, so I didn't read the book. But I quickly did the research, and I read some of the comments that people made about the book, how the book really changed their lives. And if I may ask, how, what happened in your life? How did you, come to
come
write?
up with the book?
Yeah.
Well, I was in DeKalb County Jail, and I was about to go to prison for the 8th time. And I realized I was like 35 years old. I had nothing. I had no one. I was a crack addict. I had lived on the bridges, in empty apartments. I had nothing to look forward to, and nobody trusted me. And right then, at that point, is when a trans, you know, a transformation started happening with me. I started writing, and it became therapeutic for me. So I realized that the more I would write, that I was on to something, and that a healing process began. You know, a lot of things that had happened to me as a child that I was never able to really get out and talk about, it started coming out in the pages. And I started, you know, getting the healing. So as I continued to write, you know, it's just something in me just told me keep going. I mean,
I believe that is the Spirit of God.
yeah,
talking.
6 years later, I had a book finished, my publishing company up and running, and I'm doing TV interviews, radio interviews. You know, I'm reaching out to the kids, and my biggest prayer is for God to just position me so that I can help more people.
Yes. Right. So how are the children receiving the book?
Oh, the kids are absolutely, they love it.
And the parents?
The parents love it, the kids love it. I didn't know
Of course,
that.
we have to love something like that.
Yeah,
We
I
have
didn't
to.
know that it was going to have this kind of effect. You know, I mean, just think, for me, this is the first thing in my life that I ever started on and completely finished. And I'm just
Wow.
as enthused about it today as when I first started writing it.
Wow. Wow.
Do you sing?
No.
Oh, okay.
I wish I could, but I can't.
Because
But
everybody.
I used to write R&B and hip hop songs, so I've always been pulled toward the entertainment business.
Because the way I said that, everybody who come out of prison come out as a singer, you know, as a
They
rapper.
write and yeah.
Not with this to change people's life, not with a book change people's life, and things like that.
Did-
Sometimes people go to prison and then they take prison for like their home. They enjoy it. Why do you come out and change your life and like think about the book? Why the book? And I just, the question is
Trying
that
to get the process.
yeah,
Well, I pretty much know where you're going with that, and it's easy for me to answer because it's been one of my most prized things that I grab and I hold dear to me, and that is.
it's just like why do you come out with that idea? Why do you want to
Okay.
change your life?
Well, I felt like I was in a trap, and I felt like the powers to be wanted me to continue to be in this trap. So in my mind, I said to myself, what can I do to make me feel like I'm getting something back from these people? So, you know, I said one day, I know that I'm going to have a lot of money because God wants me to help a lot of people, and it takes money to help a lot
To
of
help a
people.
lot of people.
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what I started doing was I just started writing. And initially it started out being a biography. But the more I continued to write, I started seeing a movie. So my goal to date was a movie deal. And today I work with Absolute Media Productions, a film company
Yes.
that has picked my book up and working on the movie.
Great.
Wow.
Now, here's what I'm thinking. As you're talking, I'm thinking about this because now, did you start writing while you were in jail?
Yes, I started.
And when you were writing, you didn't know you were writing a book. You were just writing just to be writing.
Well,
So you
initially,
the process, right?
I was just writing to just help myself, you know.
From going crazy.
Right. But the more I would let other people read it, and they were like, man, this is good stuff.
Yeah.
So I just started converting it into a book, and I probably drafted that book 25 times before I was finished.
Okay.
And
What
when
was,
I
yeah,
and when I came home, I had a stack of papers like this, and no one believed nothing that I said because you got to remember where I come from. I
Yeah.
was addicted to crack for over 27 years. I was living in the streets. You know, I never really set out to do anything positive and see it through. So nobody expected anything good to come from me. I was the one that they wrote off and said I would not make it to C21. You know, but this book, I knew that it was something because everybody that I let read these pages, they wanted more pages.
Right. I know you
That
have
told
book-
me that I had
Yes.
something.
You have book 2 now, right?
Oh, I got book 2
What
now.
Oh, you
was
got-
your experience in prison? How many times you went to prison?
I've been to prison 8 times.
Oh my God, what was your experience like?
Well, each time I went to prison, I left out of prison not getting something. So, you know, you got to remember in Georgia penal system, when you get out of prison, they only give you $25. And
What?
at no point did they ever release me into transition so that I could get back into society with a job and some clothes. And it's something to look forward to.
Right.
So that never happened for me. So every time I got out, you know, nobody expected for me to do anything but the same thing. And for me, that's what I always ended up doing, the same thing.
So it is of the utmost importance that our children read this book and realize the realness, because this book is brutally honest.
Definitely.
It's very real. So it's part of our intervention also.
Definitely.
How important do you think that intervention is as far as our youth today with all the juvenile?
It is of the utmost importance, because if we don't start with the youth, and I mean from the cradle, if we do not start teaching them the right things and teaching them how to identify the issues in the world, then when they become of age, they're not going to know how to deal with it. At some point, your kid has to come out of the nest and get off the porch. And you don't want them to have blinders on when they do. So with my book, I literally sit you in the driver's seat so that you can experience these life situations as if you're really partaking in it, but you're really not. But with that being said, it forces you to make a decision about what lifestyle you want to live.
You just, I just want to
emotional.
stop talking about
and
it.
it's all part of the
It's
sharing, because
unbelievable.
most people don't want anyone to really know what they've been through. And it takes a brave person and a bold person to step out on faith, put yourself on Front Street, and let the world know what you've been through. But it's also part of sharing the world with people, because
I love it.
I mean, we've been through so many
Yeah.
different things and so many different affairs, and we're always out there pushing, telling our story. And I think that it's very important for you to continue that and to show our youth that there is another way. Because what they see on TV is not real.
I have to explain to them, when they say cut, that means cut. It's over. You
Yeah.
know, these rappers and people, they don't
Yes.
actually live like that.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
But for
But
me,
you never got beat up inside?
Uh,
I know
no,
you're telling
actually,
me. But
actually, I never really had any physical problem. Now, I got into a few fights, you know, but I was always the kind of person that, you know, I laid down the law. These were my boundaries, you know, and we were not going to have any problems, because I already regarded myself as being a boss, you know, having finesse. You know, I mean, I've been pulled over by the police and didn't have any license, but still talked my way out of it. So I regarded myself as having finesse, and I wasn't going to get into nothing negative. You know, I've always been an activist, you know, in a sort. I didn't really have problems in prison. I
Okay.
really didn't.
I know that you mentioned, you know, you have, you know, website, things like that. The book, if someone, you know, wants to buy the book, can you tell them where they will be able to find it? And
Oh, you would be able to go to barnesandnobles.com, booksamillion.com, amazon.com. You can buy it at Nubian Books at South Lake Mall, and you can go to my website, kimbopublishing.com.
Great, great. You know, I as much as I am enjoying this conversation, some of us too much, getting emotional on me right here. You know, I wish we had a lot more time to
the
talk
story
about
is not
this.
sad. It just excite. It just I'm excited for you, turn your life around,
Yeah.
and that's something every kids need to think about. They need to think about, like, changing your life. Prison is not a place. It's nothing, because when you get out, you can't find a job and things like that. But when you went to prison a time, when you got out, you never tried to look for a job. And
Yes.
N-
But, you know, with that being said, you know, I have a strike against me. I got
Yes.
violent offenses on my record. I got drug offenses. You know, when people look at, you know, my job resume and they see all the absence there, you know, they know that, I mean, let's face it, I don't need nobody on my team that's not reliable. So, you know, but the bigger picture is this. It's so many of us out there like that has this struggle, and we don't know which way to turn, and then we often end up turning back to the streets.
Right.
Yeah, it's
A
very,
revolving door.
common, because exactly, because when you get out, you have, especially those who have no education, nothing like that. So what are you gonna do out there?
I'm gonna
So
tell
the
you what I
prison-
did, and George can tell you about this. When she met me, I was selling socks, T-shirts, underwear. That's what I was selling. Now, after I made the money from that, I went and bought books. Now I got my books rolling. You know, but it takes determination and dedication.
You know,
I'm
it's
just
very
excited.
it's very different. You know, coming from our background, for us, prison. When someone goes to prison, it means automatically you are out of the society. You know, once you go, even if it was for 1 day or 2 days, you are out of the society.
We don't like
from it.
handcuffs.
I mean,
That's it. We don't like it.
if you want a
just-
Haitian person cry right now, just pretend you're gonna
Show them.
handcuff them. Just show them a handcuff. They'll just cry. Because with the mentality we grow up with, you know, prison is out of the question. Police is out of the question. So, you know, once you go in for like 1 day, automatically you are out of the society. I mean, you're talking, and now, and I'm thinking back. I'm like, okay, if this brother was a Haitian, I wonder how. And then for going in 8 times, I'm just thinking how this would have been. You know what I mean? So this is a whole different background from our culture. You know. But
Maybe
again, I mean,
God was trying to teach him a lesson.
exactly.
I think,
I didn't know that God was preparing me for the path that I'm taking now, and that's helping other people prevent from going through what I went through.
Right.
You don't have to go through what I went through to get it. You can listen to me and you can get it.
Yep,
Yes,
definitely.
and buy the book.
Buy the book.
Yeah,
Yes,
I
buy
mean,
the
I
book.
I'll definitely will say it, buy the book, because like I said, I read so many comments yesterday. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe this, because
I don't really have time to read, but this one I will, because, you know, I'm an actress also, and I have scripts sometimes, and I do stage plays, so I don't really have time
Well,
to
today's
read
are lucky days.
anything.
Those books belong to you.
What, really?
Yes.
Oh,
Well,
thank you.
thank you, thank you. Well,
Thank you.
there you go. This is my book, so thank you.
Wow.
Okay.
You know, I really wish that we had more time to talk. And I'm looking at my floor director right now, and she's saying, you know, it's good stuff, but we got to go. So, any last words that any last
Well,
words
you
you'd like
know,
to?
my thing is, no matter where you are or where you from, always remember that nothing happens unless you make it happen, and you got to put God first.
Definitely. Any last words, Miss Joyce?
I just want everyone to remember to travel always with a mission mindset, because your smile, your touch, your life may be the one that changed someone else's life. So always journey by grace.
That's good. That's good. Well, you know, you just watched Fabrice and Junelle show, and I thank you guys for watching. Any last words?
I thank you for being here. I thank you, and
Anytime.
I think this show here will change somebody's life.
Yes.
I really hope so.
And I know it will. I know it will. If your experience doesn't change any kid's life, I don't know what will.
Exactly. I mean, exactly.
I don't know what will.
Well, once again, you know,
Thank you for being here.
Thank you
Thank
for
you
being
for
here.
having me.
Thank you.
You give me hope. You give me hope.
Thank you. And once again, thank you for watching. And until next time, stay safe. And remember, you have to go and buy
Finesse
this
in the game.
book.
Yeah,
Go buy
finesse
it.
and the
1
game.
and 2.
I got it right.
I got
Finesse
one.
and
That's
the
right,
game,
that's
The finesse and the game. Go and buy the book.
Definitely,
and
go
the
buy
book.
it. I'm going to read it. In fact, I will call you sometime this week to tell you where I'm at and what I think.
Okay.
Again, once again, thank you very much for coming by, and have a good
Thank
evening.
you, everybody, for
Thank you.
watching. And until next time, keep on going to Haiti.
Don't forget, you need to go. Thank you.